All right, it being 5:30 on Monday, January 12th, I will call to order the Select Board meeting. Uh, the first item on our agenda tonight is the acceptance of the minutes for December 29th. I do have a semi-complicated change that I'll hold off on from page 3 in regard to the short-term rental. But let's see if Rod or Andrew have any other changes than that section.
I don't.
None from you, Andrew?
No.
Okay. If you look at page 3 on the minutes, the top item is the short-term rental. When I read it, um, I said, that doesn't sound right. And I recall we had some discussion about what we were talking about. So it's fairly accurate, except as you can see, the last sentence kind of didn't get finished. Um, so it should say that it was to initiate a $125 inspection fee. The motion passed 300 or something to that effect. Um, However, it turns out it's not an inspection fee. It's a permit fee, much like the alcohol licenses and other things that we do. So I would like to suggest that we amend these minutes in two ways. In the first bold sentence, short-term rental inspection fee, I would like to change the word inspection to permit. In the last sentence, a motion was made by Andrew, seconded by Rod to initiate a $125 inspection fee. I'd like to change that to permit fee and add a period to the end. That would make a correction of our actual vote and make the minutes correct should it pass. So that's my suggestion for an amendment.
So moved.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded. Any questions, discussion? Sorry about that. It was a complicated thing, and I should have picked up on that last week. But hearing none, we'll put the matter to a vote. Andrew,
Aye.
All right.
Rod, and I am aye. Motion passes 300. Thank you for helping me correct that. Liaison reports. Anything, Rod,
Uh,
this evening?
I went to the Veterans Administration meeting, but we didn't have a quorum, so we really couldn't do anything. And I met with Tom, Emergency Management, and he gave me a list of 9 tasks and goals that we're going to try to achieve this year.
Okay.
I will get them all to us eventually, sometime this week, so we can, they're just a list of what he's hoping to do.
Great.
I guess that's it.
Okay. Andrew?
Yeah, I got an update from Jeff Johnston today about his work on the highway projects. He tells us they've been, as you probably can guess, mostly dealing with winter. So a lot of rain, snow, ice, sanding, salting, and scraping going on out there. They've accumulated about 30 hours of overtime so far. Small storms take as much time as big ones in terms of what the crew is doing. He says Zachary is on board and available for plowing with the small pickup truck. And the new big truck, he said, should be here this week. It's going on the town insurance this week, and we'll get sent off to get lettering detailed on it, but otherwise we'll be ready to go. And Um, Otherwise, he said that the highway department will not be submitting significant capital requests this year. So that will leave some room in our budget for other things. Um, and and he has sent his sort of list of expiration dates for equipment to the finance committee, so that they can plan for future years and things like that. And otherwise, he'll be working on Chapter 90 reimbursements and budget work um, as he has time. Um, the Arms or Pratt committee still has not reassembled. The sewer commission is meeting this week. That's all I've got.
Great. Thank you very much. The only thing I have from the police department is discussion, which I'll bring up a little bit later with regard to the renewal of the chief's contract, which you all got copies of a couple weeks ago after our last meeting, and we'll just see if we can agree that we should get an executive session together on that. I did this past week go to the public hearing of the Zoning Board of Appeals that actually Rod also sat in on as well. I still would call it the Orange Glow Arrowhead Shops, which is up on Route 2 for their conversion. The planning board was under the impression that 4 units was a max. They want to do 5, so they were looking for an approval to use 5 apartments as a variance. And it turns out the interpretation was different by the zoning board than the planning board. And in a nutshell, the conversion from commercial to residential allows for actually the wording says 9+. So basically anything over 4. So they said, you don't need one, you're good to go. Did I get that about right, Rod?
Yes. Yep.
Yep. They were hoping, you might have seen the article in today's paper, they were hoping they would use them in that innocuous term called affordable housing. But they already realized they're going to be about $2,000 a month for very small apartments without utilities due to sprinkler system and the septic system and the like. So they have not bought the property yet and hope to close after getting final numbers on the sprinkler system. And I think that's the only thing they were waiting on. So just as a point of interest. I
So
also
this is not going to be condos then. It'll be rental apartments.
correct.
Uh,
I believe there's 4 2-bedroom and 1 bedroom.
Correct.
I did also attend last week the planning board, not a liaison report, but I think it's of interest for folks. We know how many people view these recordings later. They were receiving plans from Hanna Brothers, who own the former bank building, which the little road that goes from Bridge Street with Keystone on the right, it's the building on the left. 3 stories, office space. They are looking to change the upper 2 stories to residences for, I believe, 4 more apartments. I think they had 3 2-bedroom and 1 1-bedroom in their plans, but they were looking for relief or recommendations for when they go to the ZBA, because our bylaws require apartments to have 2 parking spaces. That building has 0. So despite the fact that we have a ongoing decade-long, as we've discussed in previous meetings, parking issues with space downtown, the planning board felt that they were happy to support a positive recommendation to the ZBA for approval of this conversion to a 4-unit housing proposal. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
So that building does not have any designated spaces in the Keystone parking lot?
Apparently, they
No.
explained that they thought they did at one point, well, the building did at one point, had 2 spaces behind it only. But somewhere in the 50s, there was a survey done, and those 2 spaces, in fact, all of them across the back of that block, ended up becoming the property of Freezer Locker at the time, I believe was the name on the current Keystone Market.
Hmm.
So yeah, so they have none. But that will come up for a ZBA variance hearing, of course, and they got what they needed there. The other thing they planning board took up, I thought was also interesting for us to know, was they're working on a zoning bylaw change. Um, and that would be to address current zoning bylaws that reference mobile homes. Apparently, the state and others over time have changed that to manufactured housing um, as opposed to a definition of mobile home. And they're looking to come up with wording to bring to town meeting this year for the change of that terminology. So it was a pretty interesting meeting. I enjoyed attending. And that's all I have this evening. And we have a lot of people joining us. They all appear to be on mute except Alex. Would you please mute your connection, please? And we'll continue. All right. Noteworthy news, transfer station winter hours. They began last week. We're keeping Tuesdays the way we always have in the years gone by, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Previously, we were looking at 7, going until 7, but when Bailey resigned and we got a temporary fill-in, the request was made and we approved it at our last meeting to. Okay, we are moving forward to old business. The Mass Fish and Game request for support of their acquisition of the Audubon property on Brook Road. We discussed this at our previous meeting, and Andrew, you wanted more information in that regard, and Terry did a great job and got us some. I'm sure you've read it, but in a nutshell, for those that may have watched us last meeting, this is land that was previously owned by a couple through a trust from Greenfield on Brook Road. They sold it for about half of the market rate to the Audubon Society, and then the Department of Fish and Game from the Commonwealth came and asked us for support of their purchase from Audubon. But they didn't tell us who the purchase was. So we figured it out now. They gave us that information, that it was a tactic that takes a significant amount of time for a state department to buy a property, and the Audubon could buy it up in a heartbeat. So they kind of made a deal to, you buy it and we'll buy it right back from you shortly. So that was step one. Step two is the reason the Fish and Game want that recommendation, which I couldn't understand why, I'd never heard of it before, was in order for them to move forward promptly, if the town sends a letter of support for their acquisition of that property, if we so vote, then they can proceed and go ahead and do it. If we don't, then they would go through possibly 8 months or more of waiting, public notices, information, so on. So it's another hurry up step. And I think that's a pretty decent overview of the explanation that they provided us in print and was in your packet. You've all read it. Terry, you've read it. Did I get that pretty good?
Yes.
Okay. So after reading this, looking at the property, I'm sure you guys have driven by it. I did. If you look up, you can see sky,
Mhm.
but it's vertical. It's vertical land and on the other side of a brook, so it's really not developable. So its best use, as you suggested, Andrew, would be to have it with Fish and Game because Audubon pays no taxes, and Fish and Game would include it under the pilot program, payment in lieu of taxes. They also said they would pay for the first year or two the full taxes before this process ended up. So I'm in favor now of sending them a letter of our support. Any comments,
I
discussion?
would move that we do so.
Okay,
I'll second.
moved and seconded. Any comments or discussion?
No, I agree with you, Rick. I think we're going to get something out of the pilot, so we might as well move in that direction and facilitate their efforts.
All right, been moved in, any further discussion? Hearing none,
Nope.
been moved and seconded, put the matter to a vote. Andrew?
Aye.
Rod?
Aye.
And I am aye. Motion passes 3-0-0. Under old business, there's two items I would like to deal with under what I'll call B. One would be to discuss setting up interviews for the transfer station. I saw your email, Andrew, today. I agree it's time to start looking at some people. We've had many applications. Many are obvious they don't match. Some might, and it might be time to go ahead and try and have Terry schedule some interviews. It might be nice if we also, at the same time, the second item under this would be go into executive session after the interviews and discuss the chief's um, contract renewal, which, as I say, you've had for a couple of weeks now, and kind of kill two birds with one stone since we meet in person at town hall for those things. Um, Sound like a plan?
Yeah, it's
It
fine. I just have
does.
a clarifying question. Does the transfer attendant report to you, Terry, or to Jeff?
Jeff.
Both Jeff and I.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure, but it seems like if Jeff is going to be in the supervision chain, that we might want to get some of his recommendations on the crop of resumes that we got.
I
Definitely.
did include him in my response to you, hoping to get some feedback.
Yeah. So I'll send him a nudge after the meeting to just say if you have preferred candidates, then send your dibs to Terry and she'll contact them.
So I think what Terry would also need to do, not necessarily during this meeting, but perhaps in the next day or two, would be to coordinate with us as to what day we can all get together, and make sure that the chief can as well, and then try to start scheduling interviews. And if we have to do it into multiple days or split those two things into different days, so be it. But I think we should move forward on getting both of those put behind us if we can.
Did
You're
you
good
want
with
to
that,
find
Rod?
a time now?
If you wish. You have a calendar, Rod?
I do.
Terry, are you able to, or would you prefer to do it tomorrow?
No, today's fine. I just have more people entering our waiting room, and
If you don't know them, they're not going to come in after the bomb we just had.
Mr. Kingsley is one of them.
Yeah,
Fine.
he's a
And then
regular.
there's a cell phone number I don't recognize.
Okay, they're going to have to wait.
Is it a local cell phone number?
413-250. Do you happen to know?
Uh,
Mm.
I don't. I can call him though if you want.
Okay.
Well, how are you going to get the number though? We don't want to. Well, if
Don't
they
want to say it
let
over.
them in, if we let them in, it would display online anyway, right?
What's the last bit?
3801. I'll mute you just for a moment.
For those that are wondering what we're doing, we had a bomb where, I don't know, looked like at least
Hey, this is Andrew Baker at the select
people
board. Who am
bombed us, and we had to shut the meeting down and reorganize and get back on. So we're being cautious about who gets let in tonight if we don't know your name, uh, or you confirm who you are, which Andrew's doing right now on one. So do you want to pick a couple of days, Terry, normally for interviews, or
Typically if we do the three that I recommended, we could do that in one afternoon.
okay?
Andrew,
So
is
Terry,
it okay?
that phone number is Zach.
Okay, I'll let him in.
okay, welcome, Zach. Please, you're on a phone. You may not know how to mute. I wouldn't, but if it's not, I don't hear any noise, so we're good anyway. All right, so we're going to pick a meeting time that the three of us can meet and make sure the chief can, and then start lining up interviews. Um, I'm retired. I'm the most flexible, perhaps. So, Andrew, you work out of town. I
I
know you
would
work
say
afternoon.
Thursday or Friday of next week. Is that when you're aiming to do this, Terry, or not that soon?
I don't have a date in mind. It's based on what your schedules are. So
Well, we have to post it, right?
yes, 48
Yeah.
hours in advance.
So I would say, yeah, probably next week would be good. I mean, I could do it this Friday afternoon if you want to do it real soon, or uh, yeah, Thursday or Friday of next
Rod,
week.
what's your availability for the 22nd?
22nd or 23rd works for me. I
Me
can,
too. So you
whatever
got
time.
flexibility, whatever the chief and the people can do, set it up and let us know. This would be afternoon.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Anything after noon or anything after two, Andrew, or
yeah, that would be good.
after two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
After
That's
two on
January.
the 22nd or the 23rd, and to be determined. Thank you. That'll save some time. Uh, okay. That takes care of everything under old business. We'll move on to new business. John Walsh, tech school offer to provide electrical assistance at Cowell Gym. In your packet, you had the communication in that regard. I thought John might be attending tonight, but if he's trying by phone, he might not be in, but um, I think he's just looking for us to say whether
Yes.
or not that's a good idea.
John recommends that the board allow the tech school to come in and do the smaller scope of work. I didn't expect him to be here tonight. He's been at Cowell much of the day working with Jamrog on the heating issues. So the tech school is offering to come in and assist the town by labeling our electrical panels and corresponding devices throughout the building.
Sounds great. I move that we approve that.
I'll second that.
And I have a motion and a second. And is there any discussion? Hearing none, put the matter to a vote. Andrew,
Aye.
Rod,
Aye.
and I am I. Motion passes 3-0-0 to approve the use of the tech students. I think that's a great idea. It'll be a
I do.
great learning experience for them. Item B, new business, Franklin County Solid Waste District. This proposed sustainable purchasing policy. We already have a buy recycle policy in place. Effective the 1st of April, towns must adopt the buy sustainable policy in order to continue to be eligible for recycling dividend grant funds. We receive about $8,400 annually for the recycling efforts. So that is a request that we support it. You've seen the policy. Any comments, questions, or discussion or motion?
I guess I'm friendly to the general idea of purchasing sustainably, but I don't know the specifics in terms of, does this mean that we have to buy a more limited selection or higher priced goods or anything like that? Or is it, do you know, Terry, what this obligates us to do?
It says whenever feasible. So for example, when we refill the hand sanitizers, we buy a gallon jug of hand sanitizers and fill them rather than buying multiple little plastics. So it's just, examples like that where we can
I see.
reuse, refill.
I see. Oh, it's more about purchases relating to practices that use fewer containers or wrappings
Yes,
or whatever, you know.
yes.
Oh, okay. I have no objection to that. That sounds like a sound thing, and I think the town has enough uh, storage space in the back to buy in bulk if we want to do that.
The policy that you have in your packet does itemize those objectives, and then, as Terry said, does read, to meet these objectives, whenever feasible, the town will, and then those bullet suggestions, and uh, everything sounds reasonable to me as well. So did you make a motion with that, Andrew?
I will move that we approve the sustainable purchasing policy.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, put the matter to a vote. Andrew?
Aye.
Rod?
Aye.
And I am aye. Motion passes 3-0-0. Okay. The last item under new business for us is Floodwater Brewing, the one-day liquor license request for February 14th in Memorial Hall. Zach is with us. We did put, or you did receive in your packet information, a copy of the application that he has made. You also received a copy of the email after you questioned. I think Zach was originally told by Terry that historically, in the 30 plus years of Terry's service to the town, she recalls no alcohol ever being used in Memorial Hall, and said that it's not. I told Zach it's not allowed. The question came up about, well, how did we serve at the and shell property for that fundraiser last October. The difference being a building or outdoor town property. So we looked into what we have for a town bylaw, and the town bylaw doesn't specifically address municipal buildings. So we might want to look at a tweak to the bylaw depending on what our temperature is when we take it to this evening. Terry did reach out to her town administrative network and received a lot of feedback from Ashfield, Leverett, Gill, West Hampton. Quite a few towns responded when she asked about, do you allow it? None of them did allow alcohol in their town halls or any municipal buildings. And Terry also reached out to the MIIA. Our county executive Connor Powell's responded. You saw that also. His recommendation was to discourage it as well. That it's not something that it's not a door that he recommend we open. So that's in a nutshell what's in front of us. Andrew, you brought it to us for the use of alcohol on that date as a fundraiser. I guess proceeds in part would go towards Memorial Hall Association. Also, I'll note previous events like previous events MHA has had, they would hold an after party at a restaurant nearby to serve beverages of the alcoholic nature or whatever people wanted, but never have they done it in the building. So uh, let's open it up for some discussion or a motion to either allow or disallow it, prohibit or allow in this case. Um, my take, I'm not seeing anybody jump in yet, is I'd like to, I definitely don't want to open Pandora's box and allow it in this case. No reflection whatsoever on Zach and Floodwater because they're awesome people. But as a precedence, if we have a precedence, it was that we don't allow it. And I don't want to open the door to setting a new one without bringing it before town meeting to amend our bylaw to specifically restrict alcoholic beverages from municipal property and buildings. But this one's before us. Anybody care to speak to it?
Yeah, I did. The reason I put it on the agenda, well, both because Zach was interested in getting a clearer explanation for what the story is, and so I realized that I didn't have the answers to give him. So I wanted to get some more clarifying information about both what our policy is and why that policy is and where it applies. And so, Rick, are you saying that we actually don't have a specific bylaw excluding alcohol from town hall?
Correct.
So we just
Or
have sort of a
we don't
general practice then.
correct. It's been a general practice that has not been allowed in town
Okay.
halls specifically.
But we could, change that practice from time to time if we chose, because there's nothing saying no, you can't, right?
Correct. And what my suggestion is that we amend the bylaw, which references where you can and can't,
Right.
at town meeting to prohibit alcoholic beverages from being sold, distributed, or consumed on municipal property or in municipal buildings without a special permit from the select board. That would give us the opportunity to say, okay, this is a worthy cause, a one-time deal, let's do it. But we would be doing it under a legally or a town-wide voted approved amendment to our bylaw. So I think that would be prudent for us going forward to act on this one immediately, would, to me, set a precedence before we get to the town meeting to discuss it. Say, well, you already did it once. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
I mean, sure, we can always do it the way you describe, but it strikes me, Rick, that we would do that anyway, even without changing the bylaws, because people have to come to us to request a one-day permit to have an activity, whether we have that language in place or not. Even today, without that
yes.
language in place, somebody would have to come to the select board and say, can I have a one-day permit to serve alcohol?
Yeah, but that also, the bylaw would be more general. The current bylaw that we have is more general. It's not talking about licenses or pouring for an event. It's talking about can't be there, period.
Right.
So
Okay. Well, if that's your goal, I'm just saying that, the practical effect is that we have that power to dole out those one-day permits already.
yes, we do. Yes, we do. But
And
for use of alcohol, somebody walks into town hall with a beer. We can't stop them right now. We're not talking about a pouring permit that you would get a license for or a permit for. We're talking about, in general, you can't have alcohol in municipal buildings, is what I would like to see it a little more specific. And that is pretty much the way all the people that responded from other towns said, here's how we handle it. And it was all the same, pretty much the same
well,
wording.
that I think goes to the the minor differences between Shelburne and Buckland. That I think in Buckland you're not allowed to walk around in town hall with a beer, but,
Well, yeah,
or on the sidewalk either, for that matter.
and you can't hear either.
Okay, well
No,
then
in
you,
Buckland you can, in
oh, I'm
Shelburne you
sorry, I
can't.
have it reversed.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
You cannot walk around the town. You can't sit in your car on any,
Okay, so your
any,
example only applies in Buckland then. Uh,
my
of
example, what?
of somebody walking into town hall with a beer, that's actually not permitted now.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not in any danger of anybody
Oh, no,
doing that.
no, it isn't specifically prohibited. Our current bylaw prohibits from roadways, from, uh, well,
Public byways.
yep, Shelburne highways. It's all about property. It does mention specifically the pothole area. You can't be standing, sitting, running, walking, kind of just hanging out and have alcoholic beverages anywhere in the town. We need to address specifically. This is outdoors. We need to address, I think, specifically that it would fall. It is not allowed in municipal buildings unless permitted under a special permit by the select board. Then we have it in writing. We know we're doing everything right.
Well, my second clarifying question is, even if we were to adopt this language that you describe, does it apply to leased premises?
Um,
When I posed the question to our insurer, it didn't matter whether it was leased or not. It's still a municipal building and he would discourage it.
Okay.
He said
May I ask
if it were allowed, the leased the lessee would have to, or the lessor would have to have the town of Shelburne listed as an additional insured, and you'd also have to hold liquor liability.
The town would have to hold liquor liability.
No, Memorial Hall Association, and then the person serving.
So the MHA would have to have liquor liability.
If you were sponsoring it, yes. Or you could put that responsibility on the person serving and they would have to prove.
Okay, because that's I think, well, I'm assuming you're using you in a generic sense because I'm actually
Yes.
not a member of the Memorial Hall Association
Yes, I
at
am.
present. Or I'm not on their board rather. But uh, so, but my understanding is that Zach, when he got his 1 day permit to go do the Oktoberfest, that he purchases his own liquor liability insurance.
Yes.
Would more than that be required?
Our
perhaps
insurance company said that they would want Memorial Hall Association to list the town as additional insured
On whose policy?
on your policy.
So the MHA and Zach would both need to have liquor insurance then.
I'm not sure that you would have to have, I'm not sure Memorial Hall would have to have liquor liability,
So we
but
would just, if I was a member of Memorial Hall approving this, I would then say to Zach as our tenant, for that event, that we would be renting the hall to him as a tenant. The terms of that rent are that you are required to name MHA and the town as on your insurance policy.
I would need to seek clarification, but the way I read it is that MHA would have to list the town as an additional insured on your certificate of insurance.
and this
MHA must carry their own insurance
Oh,
upstairs.
okay. So just their general insurance policy.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But they don't necessarily have to purchase some additional alcohol insurance or something like that.
they would
No,
have
I
to
don't
have
believe so.
listed as an additional, the town as an additional insured, according to what we were told.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, I would think that um, as one of the terms of the lease, and I confess I I was looking for a copy of the lease and I didn't find it on my electronic files. So I have not recently read the MHA lease. But it would seem that it would be prudent, if it's not already done, for what you described to be a condition of their lease, that they name the town as an additional insured.
Only
Don't
in
you
the,
think, as a lessee of town property, that that would be an important condition to have in the lease?
I would think it would be. I know that that is a condition of our lease of the Pocket Park, and it costs the town $500 more per year to be listed as an additional insured.
Because that just means that the town is extra double protected from anybody trying to sue the town if something untoward happens during a Memorial Hall event, you know?
Yes, it would mean that Memorial Hall Association is protected as well as the town if something were to occur in our building during an event sponsored by MHA.
Yeah.
well, all this is all good fodder for how we may deal with it down the road. For tonight, we have an application in front of us, and I would think we are looking for a motion um,
Um,
to make a decision. Do we want to approve this, or do we want to wait and get our ducks in a row before we do it?
oh, sorry to interrupt. Can I say something? This is Zach Livingston.
Can I allow that, Terry, without having the appointment?
Yes.
Okay, Zach, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that, like, when just my thought is, when you're looking at towns, it might be worth looking into Turner's Falls, because that town owns a theater property, and they lease it to the Shea Theater Group, which is a co-op, and the town owns the building. So, if, going forward when you're researching it, that might be closer to an apples to apples comparison, or maybe it's not, but I feel like that, seems like a
Zach,
direction, at least
Zach,
the part that Memorial Hall is looking to go, the Memorial Hall Association is looking to go to.
Zach, I think the biggest difference is one's in town hall and the one you're talking about isn't. So I don't think that's a comparison at all.
But
You know,
I think if he's talking about getting a 1-day permit to serve beer in the Shelburne Falls Theater, then he's in a leased space. So in that sense, what he's describing is analogous. You're right, Rick, that those are separate buildings, but in terms of where people are gathering and to pursue this activity, they're in a separate space on a separate floor.
well, I, for one, don't want to open the door to alcohol in town hall ever. I will pursue it at the annual town meeting as a change to the bylaw. In the absence of one, I would like to make a motion that we decline this request for a 1-day permit in Memorial Hall. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's have some discussion if anyone would like to comment more. Hearing none, we'll put the matter to a vote. Rod,
Aye.
Andrew,
No.
and I am I. Motion passes 2-0-0. I'm sorry, 2-1-0 to not approve the permit for alcohol serving in town hall. Sorry about that, Zach. Sorry about that, Andrew. It just
No problem.
it just doesn't seem right. So thanks for prompting the discussion in any event.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I guess have a good rest of your day or
Thank
evening.
you. You too.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Night.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I did have one other question. Does that mean, like, are you automatically going to put that in the town meeting, or do certain steps have to take place for it to happen in the annual town meeting?
we haven't
or beyond it?
we haven't had a motion to put it in as a warrant.
Okay.
That will come as a result of tonight's discussion.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
And we're not saying that we wouldn't approve a permit for what you did at the band shell to help. I think that was fundraiser for the school or
It's
whatever.
just
that's
not
for,
our property.
CSC
Oh,
Nature's Classroom.
that is our property though, Terry. The band
Yeah.
shell where
Yeah,
it
the
was.
band shell is a separate property from the school, which is why they allowed us to do that event
Right.
adjacent to it.
All right. It wasn't on the school property. It was on town property.
It's on town property. Yeah, that's correct. So,
That's my understanding.
You know, that it might be that was present set, but I guess with town offices and something, I can understand your concern unless there's sort of okay.
Rick, I think that where Zach was located in the Oktoberfest event in the middle of the field there is actually school property. Is that not right, Terry?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All
right. It is confusing because I think the band shell is owned by the town, but
I'm positive it is.
yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for pointing that out, Zach. We'll see how it plays out.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Have a good one.
You too. All right. Any other business? Our next meeting, January 26th. Well, not our next meeting. We're hoping for a meeting in between on the.
Are you on other business, Rick?
Yes.
Okay. I do have an item of other business to bring up.
Bring it away.
Okay. I got contacted yesterday by Robin Logan, who's on the Energy Committee, and she informed me that they have gone ahead at the request of a number of citizens and scheduled an information session about smart meters at the Arms Library this coming Thursday in the basement at at 7 o'clock, and they're going to have an Eversource representative come and answer questions about smart meters. I thought since that was a topic that a number of people have spoken and written about recently and have concerns about, that it might warrant using the robocall to let people know about that meeting since it's coming up at pretty short notice. I think they will get something in the recorder about it, but otherwise, it will not be widely advertised.
Okay. I got everything on it except what day was it? Saturday?
No, this coming Thursday, the 15th.
Okay.
At 7 o'clock in the basement of the Arms Library.
I got everything but the Thursday.
So I was going to suggest that they use the robocall. If we generally don't use the robocall for other than emergency purposes, but we do make exceptions here and there for important public purposes, and I thought this was one. So I was recommending that they be permitted to do that and maybe work with Joe Judd to put out a short message.
It's being done by the Energy Committee, you said.
Yeah.
Not just people from it. Terry, any thoughts on that?
No, that's fine. If
Yep,
you're,
I'm
if
good
the
with
board's,
I'm good with it too. Rod,
I am. There's a lot of interest in that.
tell them to do it.
Okay, good. I'll let them know then that they should contact Joe and get something out then.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else under any other business? I believe we have no correspondence. Public comment. Anyone from the public? We do have one on. If you have anything, speak or forever hold your peace for the evening. Seeing no action there, we'll look for a motion to adjourn at 6:20.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Rod?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
And I am aye. Motion to adjourn passes 300 at 6:22. Thank you all for it. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.